When Pokemon is as big as it is, a game where we tend to get a lot of types of players in different categories, from the casual little Timmy to the hyper sweat Andy. Today I'm going to go over not only the types of Pokemon players in each category, but as well as any branch categories in said category. This topic may seem confusing at first, and trust me, when I was writing the script for this video, it kinda was. But trust me when I say it makes more sense as the video goes on. So yeah, let's just get this over with. First off, we have the beginner player. This is the type of player who is just getting back into Pokemon or is starting to get into Pokemon. These players are hyper casual players, as they've probably only really played 1 to 2 Pokemon games in the last 5 years. They probably don't even know that there are over 1,000 Pokemon now. Alternatively, this is the type of player who probably got into Pokemon because of Pokemon Go, and is now getting into the main series games and realizing how different the main series games are compared to Go is. The fate of this player usually stems to them playing one game and falling off of the series, or they start to get into it and become the average casual Pokemon player. This is the type of player who knows enough about Pokemon, but they don't know everything. This is also typically what most of my viewers happen to be. Like, I bet this person doesn't know that Shadow Ball was physical in Generation 3, but they probably know stuff like Shiny Pokemon, Wolf-Glick, and what a Nuzlocke is. The reason why I mention this is over time, this person gradually, they play more Pokemon games over time and they know more about Pokemon itself, and eventually they start to turn into a hyper casual, also known as a Pokemon regular. This is the casual player's final boss. This is what most hardcore Pokemon players are. You've probably played most, if not every Pokemon game. You might even have a living dex in Pokemon Home. And you probably know stuff like IVs, EVs, and probably have done stuff like casually shiny hunt. You've probably watched a competitive Pokemon battle or two, or have even played Pokemon Showdown at some point. And you've probably Nuzlocked at some point in your life. This category typically houses the most Pokemon players and is typically what most Pokemon YouTubers are. These are also the types of people who would post a comment on a video if you just so happen to get wrong on something in a video. You know who you are. These players are a jack of all trades but a master of none type of deal. One more thing to note is that these are typically the types of Pokemon players that don't really branch off into other branches of, Pokemon categories of Pokemon players, due to their overwhelming knowledge of the game but their lack of ambition some other players in other categories have. Now after that is when we start to branch off of the casual Pokemon path. Starting with the competitive Pokemon player. This is definitely the most well-known type of player, since they are also the ones to get the most unnecessary flack. This player knows stuff about battling that not even most Pokemon regulars know about. Stuff like dynamic speed, move priority brackets, damage calcs, EVing your Pokemon to list specific hits from specific Pokemon, spread move reduction damage, stuff that isn't surface level like the Pokemon Incineroar and the move Fake Out, for example. Now, they typically have 2 types of side categories when it comes to the competitive Pokemon player. You're either a Smogon singles player or a VGC doubles player, and typically these branches also have tiers to them. Tier 3, the player who isn't that good, I'll be honest, but they're just now getting into competitive. They're new, so over time they will, get better. Tier 2, the ladder demons, players who know the fundamentals on how to properly battle, but for one reason or another have yet to play in any official tournaments. And Tier 1, tournament players, aka on average the best of the best when it comes to competitive Pokemon players. They're also the types of players to be the best when it comes to ladder, aka Wolf-Glick. These are the players who typically stem from the basic casual player and not from the Pokemon regulars, if that makes sense. And if it wasn't obvious, I am indeed a competitive Pokemon player, as well as some of my friends who play this game as well. If you're watching this video, you know who you are. Also, there are levels to this shit. Like, a mediocre competitive Pokemon player can probably beat a Pokemon regular 9 times out of 10. That's kind of how big the gap is from hardcore casual Pokemon players to competitive ones. But real quick, if you are enjoying the video so far, subscribe to the channel. I upload mostly every week, and as well as I have a full catalog of Pokemon videos just like this one, so if you're liking what you're watching so far, subscribe. Next up are the Shiny Hunters. Now, I have to make this one very clear. If you Shiny hunted before, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a Shiny Hunter. No, this is the type of player who plays Pokemon just to Shiny hunt. Their team could be a full team of shinies before they have even be in half of the game. They just love to shiny hunt. Now, here's the thing. You have the basic shiny hunters, they shiny hunt in, the modern Pokemon games simply because those shiny odds are higher and they typically have like a full team of shinies before, halfway point of the game, like I mentioned before. But then you have the players who are daring enough to shiny hunt in any game where the odds are 1 in 8,192. Don't forget the 16 DSs they have just to increase their odds, despite choosing to work with the lowest odds possible in a Pokemon game. This is what I meant when I said hardcore casual players lacked any true ambition, because when someone is willing to do shit like this, they have more ambition than what most Pokemon players do, I'll be honest. This section of the video is pretty short, but it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing I will say though is that the hardcore Pokemon players typically branch into this category the most often, if they do at all. Now, next up are challenge runners. Now, this branch typically has 3 categories to it: nuzlocking, speedrunning, and literally anything else. But for the purposes of this video though, I'm gonna focus on nuzlocking since that's the category with the most depth to it, but this category typically has 2 subcategories to it as well. First off, we have the casual nuzlocker, and then we have the hardcore gamer nuzlocker. Now, the casual nuzlocker typically nuzlock a vanilla game with a certain type of nuzlocking category, or a regular nuzlock, a hardcore nuzlock, a monotype nuzlock, and mix of some, etc. These runs typically aren't too hard though. But then you have the hardcore gamer. These are the players who only hardcore nuzlock the hard Escalon of Pokemon games, specifically hard Pokemon ROM hacks, from games like Blaze Black, Volt White 2 Redux, to even the hardest of Pokemon games like Emerald Kaizo to Run and Bun. What makes these players even more impressive is that they can even win runs with more difficult hardcore Nuzlocke variations, like banning setup moves, trivial moves like Encore, and weather moves like Rain Dance or Sunny Day, and God forbid, even one death equals reset runs on Pokemon games that are way harder than the average vanilla Pokemon game. These players can sit in a damage calc hours on end and have the battle play out for them bar for bar like they exactly planned for, like it's fucking chess. Fuck it, these players can even win runs without damage calculations by just using their nuzlocking wits to win. Aside from competitive players, these players are definitely the most skillful when it comes to playing Pokemon. Hell, can you believe some of these players have made their own Pokemon ROM hack and beat it under extreme self-imposed nuzlocking rules? Yeah man, I can't believe it myself either. There are definitely other categories of Pokemon players, but hopefully I covered the big one when it comes to the main Pokemon series at least. And also, a Pokemon player can be part of multiple categories too. Like, it's not a shocker that you can be a competitive Pokemon player while also being a Nuzlocker or a Shiny Hunter. Also, don't take this video too seriously. It was just something I made for fun because I was bored, to be honest. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below what type of Pokemon player are you. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.